Hi, I'm Garrick DeMeyer from Royal Constrictor Designs, and I wanted to show you a clutch of eggs that we have laid here today. And we don't have a lot of reticulated pythons in the building here. I typically like to work with the smaller snakes, but I've got one female down here. I'll have to excuse the messiness of the cage. We don't like to disturb gravid females, so this aspen in here got a little bit wet. You can see a couple of slugs over on the other side here. You can also see I've got some Kevlar lined gloves here. I'm not taking any chances with a mom retic on her eggs. This retic, I'm going to try to get her off of these eggs so we can get them out and get them in our incubator. She is a cross between a dwarf and a super dwarf. Her dad is a dwarf albino and her mom is a pure super dwarf, so she's kind of an intergrade for size. She's about 10 feet long. If I can get her off here, I'm going to actually stretch her out for you so you can see how big she is. This is a 7-year-old female produced in Canada back in 2004. She's probably pretty irritated right now in her wristy here. Okay. Very protective of their eggs. Helps in the wild, helps to keep them from getting eaten by predators. So this is mom here. She's about 10 feet when you get her stretched out all the way. A lot smaller than your typical dwarf reticulated python, but still bigger than the 6 to 8 feet of a super dwarf that you'll usually get. So I'm going to put her in a holding cage down below here, so she won't disturb me too much when I'm trying to get at her eggs. You can see retics are quite a handful, especially when you got a protective mom. Okay, lock her up in there. Now I can take the gloves off, and let's see what we have. That is one big pile of eggs. Look at that. This is her third clutch. Her first clutch was in 2008, and she laid 19 eggs when we got 10 of those to hatch. Last year in 2010, she laid a clutch of 28 eggs, and we got 23 to hatch, including 5 albinos. And we're going to put these in the incubator. We'll probably separate them all and set them up in several smaller containers instead of all in one big container. And I want to show you here what she produces. This is an albino. This is almost a year-old animal already. You can see how tiny she is compared to a normal retic, considering that normal hatchling retics are almost this big. This one's probably about 3.5 feet long right now. And this is the daughter of the one that I just had, so these eggs are going to be her younger siblings. So she's a half dwarf, half super dwarf albino. We have a couple still available from 2010, at least as of January 2011. And hopefully we'll have quite a few more albinos in this clutch. They're still a pretty big, fairly intimidating snake, but just not compared to what your typical retic is. So we bred het to het to get this breeding, or to get this clutch. And we're hoping that, well, we should get, according to the ratios, we should get about 1/4 of these to come out albino. And the rest of them are going to be normal looking, and they'll be 66% possible het albino. So what we're going to do is go through here and pull all the slugs off, which are the unfertilized eggs. They're really tough to get off, and you have to be careful not to rupture the other eggs. These are the slugs in the clutch here. Looks like we unfortunately got quite a few of them. So it's kind of hard to tell here how many exactly we have so far, but we'll do a count and post on the website how many eggs we have from her. And then once we get these incubating and we know that the eggs are going to be okay, we'll actually start doing a reservation plan on the babies. The albinos in particular are extremely in high demand because they're one of the smallest albino reticulated pythons that are out there right now. So keep in touch, or stay tuned, and we'll give you updates on this clutch and some of the others that we're producing. You can visit our website at royalconstrictordesigns.com.